So we're on the road to Fjord, and we left our campsite in Lyngdal this morning, and the campsite was a bit of a bust really, because we went there because I needed to run and I wanted to have a shower afterwards, and it was a pretty naff place, I think it's fair to say. It was mostly people who've been there a very long time, not static caravans, but caravans with various bits added onto them, which obviously never ever move. And yeah, it was a bit of a naff place to be really. And then when we wanted to have a shower, we needed some change, went to the reception, it was shut. So we ended up having to shower in Henry anyway, so there you go. We'll learn that for next time, won't we? But we're now on the road to Fjord, and this is just amazing. We've been through so many tunnels and over bridges and things like that. Construction that must have been taken to make this road is absolutely incredible. And we're now in the Magma Geopark, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, presumably from all the uprisings from volcanoes and things like that. I'm assuming this is how this land was made. It's not such a nice day today, by the way, as you can probably tell from the fact I've got my hood up and it's raining, but it is still beautiful. And this is a lovely view here as well.
Call it off, let it go.
So this is Fjord, and we've just been reading about it where we parked up there, and it was saying about the fact that actually the first military action for Norway in the Second World War happened here. Basically there was a German ship that was passing through the fjord, and it said that it was just neutral and it actually had prisoners of war on it, and then the British boarded the ship and there was a big furore about it. And then later on in the war there were ships here 1945 that were attacked by planes, and 4 New Zealanders were actually killed here as well when their planes collided when they were trying to ascend after the attack. But it's been very interesting, and it's a beautiful, I mean, we've just driven up amazing hairpin bends and all kinds of things, and it's a stunning location. There are some houses underneath the cliffs over there which we missed, unfortunately, but it's just an amazing, amazing location. Very chilly today, but it's an amazing location. So this is Fjord, and jossing is a term that's now used for anybody who's determined to resist an invading force, but originally it was used by the Republican Party as a derogatory term for anybody in Norway who wasn't prepared to stand up to the Germans, so it's actually changed its use, but now jossing is very much in a Norwegian frame of mind for somebody who resists an occupying force. So we're on the road from Fjord to Egersund, and we stopped here at this viewpoint, and it says that this is an amphidromic point. I had no idea what that meant, but it basically means that the waves that come from the English Channel meet the waves that come round from the north of Scotland, and they kind of neutralise each other here. So this is actually quite a calm bit of water, which is quite amazing. I never heard of the term amphidromic point before, but now I've got a new geographical term to add to my collection. So these are the swords in the rock, and these are put here to remind us of the battle of whatever fjord this is. I can't remember the name, I'm afraid. And it was basically where chieftains, Viking chieftains from all over Norway, came to decide who was going to be the king of the whole of Norway. And the battle was run by Harald Fairhair in about 1872. And these are put here to remind everybody to have peace today. And they're quite impressive, I have to say. Apparently this one that I'm standing by is 9.2 metres tall. Yeah, and it's a stunning view down the fjord. So I said 1872, I meant 872, that most of the Viking battle of this ford was had. And because also most of the Vikings, actually, when they went westwards towards the UK, they left from here, which is quite an amazing thing. This was a real centre of Viking history, and there's a 9-kilometre trail that runs along the coast here, which has a lot of Viking and prehistorical things on it as well. Found another place on Park for Night to park, and we've left the van about a mile and a bit that way, and it said there was a coastal walk, and that's what we're doing at the moment, and this is quite amazing. So they've got these fantastic, this is about 9k long to the end of the fjord or something, I'm assuming. I think this is Nossing Fjord, by the way. I couldn't remember earlier, but I think that's what it is. And these fantastic walkways that they've made here, as a seat on this side, beautiful, and the rock and everything that they've cut is quite incredible. And this is a lovely, refreshing walk after having been in the van all day as well. So all over Norway, we've seen these robotic mowers going absolutely mad. Every single town we've been into, there's been loads of people who've got these robotic mowers. And we think particularly for holiday lets, they're a really good idea. And they just kind of crawl around the garden very slowly, mowing as they go, and then go home again, presumably. Well, that one's going right under the hedge there as well. Yeah, but they are quite a good idea, I think, if you've got a holiday let, because it means you don't have to worry about mowing when you come here. Oh, he's coming back down the hill very fast. So we are about to go into the Rye Fast Tunnel, and this tunnel is 14.6k long, 14.4k, sorry, and it has a gradient of 7%, which is the steepest gradient allowed on any tunnel anywhere, for safety apparently. It does look quite steep going down as well, actually. 14.6k long, and it's 282 metres underneath the bed of the fjord, which it's going underneath, which is quite amazing to me. It's the longest undersea tunnel in the world. Norway has the top 4 undersea tunnels, and this is the longest of them. And yeah, this is the Rye Fast tunnels.
How much did it cost?
Oh, it cost 5.5 billion kroner to build, which is about, did you say about 400 million pounds, something like that?
Yes.
So yeah, pretty expensive. But it used to be just a ferry that used to get across here, and you can imagine in the summer with the number of tourists that come around here that it would have been fairly expensive and fairly lengthy delays while people waited to get on the tunnels, on the ferries. And this is a much more convenient way, but it's still going down quite steeply actually, isn't it? 7% is quite steep.
It is.
We've got to go down to 282 metres below the fjord. So here we are at Hallesli. This is on the Lysfjorden, and over my left shoulder, no, my right shoulder, somewhere up there you can see Pulpit Rock, which is what we're going to do. We're going to climb up to Pulpit Rock tomorrow, hopefully. And this is, as I say, this is the Lysfjorden. Beautiful day today. Well, it's not a bad day today actually, is it? It's not raining, so that's something better than yesterday anyway. It's quite bright as well. So this morning we were meant to be going up to the top of Preikersstollen, which is Pulpit Rock, to have a lovely view up there and have a nice walk, and the cloud has come down and it is drizzling and we are not going to be able to see anything up there. So having got up at 5:30, we're now having a slight change of plan, and we're going to try and come back to Pulpit Rock on our way back in a few days' time instead, and hope the weather is a bit brighter than it is now. We'll just have to wait and see. So we've been driving for about an hour now, and I think it's fair to say that we've been vindicated for not going up to Preikersstollen today, because this greyness has just continued and got even worse. So it's fair to say there is apparently a very nice view down to the right of us, but at the moment all you can see is grey, and we're just going through more and more cloud, which is exactly what it would have been if we got up to the top of Preikersstollen as well. So we've just got to somewhere, I've no idea where it is, and we're taking a ferry, which is a bit of a surprise because we weren't really taking much notice of where we were going because it's such a grey day, we hadn't really noticed. But as Rod said, it's such a grey, still day, it's going to be a very calm ferry ride, which is always good news. We don't know how long it'll take. We think it's going to a place called Nesvik, but we're not absolutely sure. But it's going to be exciting. This is our first road ferry.
So we've just arrived at what is supposed to be a fantastic view. Yeah.
So this is Svandalsfossen, and this is a waterfall that is so strong that at times the police have to actually make sure that cars going along the road don't get completely washed away by the water, so they have to just allow one car at a time to go through, which is quite amazing. We're about halfway up at the moment, and there are 550 steps to get to the top of this waterfall, and apparently we go underneath the water, so I can't wait to see that. So this is the top of the trail to Svandalsfossen, and it's quite impressive, I have to say. I mean, it does say you go underneath the water. I'm not sure you quite do that, but it is very impressive. And the clouds of steam coming off here. And you imagine about a couple of weeks ago when it was in full force, it must have been amazing. I certainly wouldn't want to get caught in that water going downstream, that's for sure. So we just walked up to the top of the Svandalsfossen, and it was quite spectacular. And this bit here is amazing with the spray. You can quite see why the road is a problem when it's in full force, because we're getting quite wet just standing here. But it's definitely worth it. If you're in this area, do come and see Svandalsfossen. So we're now at the very bottom by the lake shore of the waterfall, and this bit behind me was an old sawmill. Apparently the sawmill was in use for over 200 years and actually used to trade with Scotland. So Scotland was an important trading partner for timber with Norway, and this particular place was renowned for trading with Scotland. So we've come across this old ruined watermill, sawmill, we're not sure what it was used for. There's some old buildings here with a lot of workings and water that's been diverted into channels, and there's mills inside these buildings and all kinds of things. And it's obviously a historical artefact because there's a sign down there basically saying they had to remove the turf roofs to replace them so that the buildings wouldn't fall down. It's very interesting, but I wish I knew what it was for, really. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and send us a comment.